I'd like to call the meeting to order. We could have a moment of silence. Flag salute.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, a public notice of this meeting has been sent to the board members, all district schools, the Herald News, the Suburban Trends, the Record, the Messenger, West Milford Town Hall, the County Superintendent's Office, the Board Attorney, Cablevision of Warwick and West Milford TV 77, and posted in the administrative building. Copies of the board meeting calendar resolution were provided to all local media, Town Hall, Township Library, and all district schools. Roll call, please, Mr. Schultz.
Mr. Sitovich, Mrs. Dwyer, Mrs. Jurgensen,
Here.
Mr. Lippy,
Here.
Mrs. Marquardt,
Here.
Mrs. Romeo,
Here.
Mrs. Van Dyke,
Here.
Mrs. Ricano,
Here.
Mrs. Lockwood.
Here. If we have no objections, I'm going to change the agenda a little bit, and we'll have the Junior Highlanders 2024 Olympic team and our student representative, Megan Seidner, go before we go into executive session. Could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to have our students go first.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Dr. Kitchen.
Okay, so we got a bunch of students here who need a good night's sleep tonight to have a great day at school tomorrow, so we're going to let you go ahead. But first, I would like to welcome our student representative on the board, Megan Seidner. Congratulations. It's always great to have student voices as part of these conversations, so thank you so much for being here with us. And next, I'm going to turn it over to Brian Leslie to do a special presentation.
Something back here, right?
Check.
Oh, I'm going over there? Oh, wow. Dear Lord.
All right, so a few things. One, congratulations, taught Megan, unbelievable student. So congratulations, great job with that. Of course, of course, absolutely. I want to say something on behalf of our program, if I could, as a whole, because I'm not like a big one with like let's just celebrate one group, because this is a very, very large group. But I just wanted to explain what our program actually is. So our program works with youth athletes that are interested in learning about sports of track and field and cross country. We were established in 2016 in the Macapin Middle School hallway during a youth wrestling practice. And I'll be honest with you, we were not good at all. We were terrible. This is year 8 for track and field. This is year 6 for cross country. Our organization is a USA Track and Field and AAU affiliated program. It competes in track and field in the spring. Some of the kids compete in the winter. And in the fall, we run cross country. That's what we're doing now. From the very beginning, we had one focus, and that was an athlete-first approach. The board was formed with common views and still operates with the basic idea of how can we do the most for our athletes. Our mission is to encourage, assist, and support youth athletes up to seniors in high school, to develop physical, mental, and social skills through our competitive program. We provide specific and individualized attention to the whole athlete while stimulating interest in and encouraging the pursuit of collegiate studies. The very beginning, when we started this program, I think I had about 32 kids on this program. That year, we qualified 7 kids to the Junior Olympics. We were lucky enough to walk away with 1 medal. To walk away with 1 medal just simply means they're an All-American athlete. They're the top 8 in the country. This year, we had 41 athletes qualify for the Junior Olympics. We walked away with 4 medals. To date, we have earned approximately 30 All-American titles, which again is top 8 in the country, and we've even had one national champion, and that would be Jonathan. Where you at? We are very proud of our club athletes' accomplishments, but to be honest, the true focus for all of our athletes is to go out there each time with a smile on their face and try and earn their personal best in their event. It was that focus that has led our children's successes, along with the amazing coaching staff, parents, as you could tell, our board members, the township, and the district support. So huge shout out. It's not just us, it's the entire community. So I know you're like, wow, we got gifts. Just know that because you support us, we're supporting you. And if you turn your back, no, I'm just joking. But all seriousness, thank you from the bottom of our heart. A very simple vision started with myself and Sandra Balistrieri, who is the vice president who couldn't be here tonight. Where we were and where we are today is night and day, and it wouldn't have been without everybody in this room and so many people outside of this room. So thank you. All right, here we go. This is a little something from the board for those that actually competed at the Junior Olympics. Jonathan Andrade, if you could come up. So Jonathan went to the Junior Olympics. He was the Region 1 champion in pole vault and the 110 hurdles. As you can see on the bling that he has on his sweatshirt, he walked away with 2 All-Americans this year. Camila Artiga. Camila competed in the 1500 and turbo javelin for the 9-year-old girls. It's weird calling you John, but John Asenzo, 8-year-old shot put, obviously. Look at that. Massimo Balistrieri, he did the 2000 steeplechase and pole vault. If you ever want to watch something that's fun, check out steeplechase. Family affair, Matteo Balistrieri did the 3000. John Banks, 15-16 boys discus. Chloe Barkley, high jump. Leah Barkley, turbo jag. Kayla Clegg, 1500 meter run. Elizabeth here? Elizabeth's not here, but she competed in 3 different events: pentathlon, long jump, and triple jump. Pax Cumming, high jump, long jump. Ryan Escalano, high jump, triple jump. Jackson Field, turbo jab, discus. The Alexander Fulton, shot put. Emma Lawrence, the 3,000 meters. Bryce Leslie, pole vault, javelin, 100 hurdles, triple jump, and he placed in pole vault. Cameron Leslie, 1500 and high jump. The mysterious Peyton Lowenstein. Peyton Lowenstein, javelin. I'll add one thing to Peyton, I have to say it. Peyton is the first female athlete on our program to ever earn a medal at the Junior Olympics, so it was huge for us. That's one. Two, she also went to New Balance National Championship where she placed, which I believe, if I'm not wrong, and I've been doing this for a pretty long time on the high school level, 19 going into 20 years. Peyton is the first one ever from West Milford to ever place in the New Balance Nationals. From West Milford. Emma McKiernan, 1,500 and 3,000. Riley McKiernan, 1,500 in shot put. Juliana Muto, turbo jab. Family affairs, Silvio Muto, 1,500 meter run. Nico Patino, steeplechase. Carter Patton, turbo jab. Henry Palero, turbo jab. Bobby Pine, shot put. Skylar Pine, high jump. Claire Riley, discus. Carter Shank, turbo javelin. And I know there's a whole bunch of Toloskis on here because they're everywhere. I know they're not here too. So Daniel Toloski, 3,000, 1,500. Joe Toloski, shot put. And Michael Toloski, turbo jab and shot put. Abigail Vonderheide, high jump. All right, and I'm gonna ask that every other person, because there's a lot of kids here that just didn't go to the Junior Olympics, but they are part of this team, and I'm gonna ask every one of you guys if you guys stand up and come up here too.
Big thank you to Brian Leslie.
Mrs. Lockwood, can I just make a quick comment? And if they don't hear me, that's okay. I just want to say that when we have presentations here, normally not this many people show up. And, you know, it really shows to the dedication of not just this team, but the parents the board, the coaches. I was once a part of this team as a parent, and it is truly amazing, and it shows in nights like this when everyone shows up together. And seriously, I think there were 4 students that couldn't make it. That is like maybe unheard of in all my time on the board. Normally it's a lot. So it's a great program. Keep it up. The one thing I learned as a track parent is that start-off position helps you in every single sport moving forward. So remember that as an athlete, you're learning how to be an athlete in every single sport you ever want to do. So have a good time. Thank you.
I'll let them come out. Okay, yeah, so usually. No, that's okay. Okay, moving on. Our student representative, Ms. Seidner. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Test.
Want me to repeat? Good evening. My name is Megan Seidner. I'm a senior at West Milford High School, and I'm extremely honored to be the student representative for the 2024-2025 school year. Here is the debrief on all things West Milford High School thus far. West Milford High School class of 2028 attended the freshman orientation on Wednesday, August 28th from 9 a.m. to 12:10 p.m. There, they were able to meet various administrators and teachers such as Mr. Stryance, Mr. Polero, Ms. Tripodi, Mrs. Nebeker, Mr. Trinacosta, Ms. Chengato, and Mrs. Johnson, as well as become acquainted with the Highlander Leadership Program's members. The freshmen received thorough tours of the building and were then prepared for the new school year by being given Chromebooks and chargers. Today marks the 9th day of the school year, and so far it is safe to say that it has been a smooth opening. Students and staff are excited to be back to learn and educate respectively. During the first week, lates did not count, and members of the Highlander Leadership Program helped guide students around school so all felt comfortable in moving from class to class. Back to School Night is open to all parents and guardians of West Milford High School students this Thursday, September 19th, starting at 6:30 p.m. The Highlander Leadership Program will have members stationed around school to assist any attendees get to their classes on time. Now a brief look into October for West Milford High School. On Saturday, October 5th, West Milford High School will be hosting the SAT at 7:45 a.m. On Monday, October 14th, West Milford High School will be hosting the PSAT. This will be an excused college visitation day for seniors. Thank you very much for your time and consideration. Please enjoy the rest of your meeting. I will see you next month to report more news about our beloved West Milford High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. That was great.
Thank you. All right, back to our agenda. There's a need for us to go into executive session. Mrs. Ricano, can you read the motion, please?
At 7:23, I move that the board will go into executive session for approximately 30 minutes for the purpose of conducting a HIB appeal. The executive session minutes will not be released until such time as the privilege or confidentiality is no longer applicable.
Could I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we will be returning after executive session. I'd like to call the meeting back to order. Roll call, please, Mr. Schultz.
Mrs. Jurgensen? Here. Mr. Lippi? Here. Mrs. Romeo?
Here.
Mrs. Ricano?
Here.
Mrs. Van Dyke? Here. Mrs. Marquardt?
Here.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Here. Thank you all for your patience while we were out of the room. Superintendent's report, Dr. Kitchen.
Yes, just a couple of things on here. So our junior Highlander Olympic team, we were able to recognize them. That was great. I also want to just draw your attention to the fact that our annual goals are on this agenda to be voted on. I know they've been shared with the board previously in the Friday update. We don't need to go into them at this time, but they are on the agenda for this evening. I also want to discuss a donation from the United Methodist Church. I'm actually going to pass it over to Dr. Ressa to discuss that.
Thank you, Dr. Kitchen, and good evening, everyone. I'd like to recognize the United Methodist Church at Newfoundland for a generous donation of school supplies that they have provided to the district. I was reached out to by Ms. King, who was the secretary at the church, and shared that the church would have wanted to make a donation of school supplies. And so through various contacts back and forth, we've arranged for that donation to be dropped off to the board office after the board accepts that donation at tonight's meeting. I'd like to personally recognize the names of the church members who were involved in this. I'm going to read them out because I was very, very grateful, and we as a district are very grateful. The approximate amount of this donation is about $660, and what's wonderful is that we will be working with our principals and our staff to distribute these school supplies across the district to the schools, so that our students that have needs in terms of school supplies and things to start the year will be able to be provided some of these supplies. So again, it's a wonderful donation, and I want to thank the following for their time and devotion to this cause. Pastor Yukon Kim, Yvonne Albro, Barbara Miller, Joanne Bush, Eleanor Keating, Susan Hinton, Carol Bradford, Shirley Masalewski, Joan Mazur, V. Schwartz, Beverly Olario, Ruth Townsend, and the United Women in Faith members at the United Methodist Church in Newfoundland and the congregation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Kitchen.
Thank you, Dr. Ressa, and thank you to our church members who contributed to our district. The next thing on my report is an HIB training and program information. Really what I can just report out to you this evening is that we've met all of our requirements for that. Next month you will be receiving a more detailed breakdown of our HIB self-assessment, so more detail can be gone into there, but I did want to make sure it is something that's required to be shared out. So we have met our training requirements. If there are specific questions about that, I'd be happy to answer them, but like I said, next month you're going to get some more details. So anybody want to discuss that any further at this time, or can we move past that? Okay. And then the last thing I had was our recognition of our student representative. I thought she did a great job. Really lovely speaker. So thank you to her for coming this evening. And I will turn it over to Mr. Novak.
Hello, everyone. We're going to just jump right in. I know we were a little bit behind time. So we are going to do some presentations from staff members involved in our summer committees. And then we're going to follow that up with a presentation from our district literacy committee for the new language arts program in kindergarten through 5th grade called Wonders. So we're going to jump right in with Mr. Trent Acosta. I'm going to come up and present the video. If you want to, board, if you want to reorganize so you can see the screen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like just first to start by, my name is Joe Trent Acosta. I'm the Director of Athletics, and I'd like to thank the Board of Education and Central Administration for allowing me to come up and show this video with you tonight. As you all know, Friday's home football game was a grand success, and that was due to all of the people that helped make it happen. It starts with the board and the central office for allowing us to do the grant for the 5G T-Mobile, which we are at a sweepstakes for, and there'll be more information that will be shared out as we get through our football season. But that's something that could afford us an opportunity to win some money for our facilities. So thank you for supporting us in doing that grant, and thank you for supporting us in having the paratroopers come in and to fully staff that event, because obviously it takes a village. I know that's corny, but it really is true, and you'll see on the video. I have a lot of people to thank, but I'm not going to keep everybody today. I'll send something out later, but really from the maintenance, the buildings and grounds guys, and all the work that you've seen, and you'll see it on the video. Just incredible stuff. Even where we have our Wounded Warriors, our students in Ms. Petrosilla's class, I think we had 40 letters that went out to the veterans who showed up at our game, from the students, written by the students, hand-delivered to them. There was just so many different facets of that evening that all came together because of this community. So I just wanted to thank everybody for at least allowing us to have that opportunity. And Joe Jordan did a great job with this video. Footage from Nate Bedford. Thank you, Nate, as well. Thank you, and I'll just close by again saying thanks, and our Highlanders are 3-0, so keep following those boys.
Thank you, Mr. Trinacosta. Mr. Winston, if you can pull up the artificial intelligence, the English presentation. And I'm going to introduce Mrs. West, the supervisor of language arts,
Hey, Dan.
art and music.
Before you do that, in the next meeting, will we still have time for the 5G lights to explain that and everything in October? Or will it be over? Sorry.
So for those who aren't aware, we asked the board back either in the late spring or early summer if you could allow us to go ahead and put forth this grant, which I got a lot of help from a lot of staff and administration. And we're in the pool. So what that means is that every week there's a random drawing for $5,000. I think there's only 12 or 15 schools at this time, or as of last week, that were in that running. We're one of them. And we're also in the running for, and this is based on participation and how many posts we can get. And we're actually doing class wars with our students, where we have the sophomores, they're going to do their posts on Tuesday and so on and so forth for each class. So the objective is to get as many posts, obviously promoting T-Mobile, but then what that allows us to do is possibly be in the running for a raffle to win the big sweepstakes, which is an overhaul multi-million-dollar facility. So that's the real, gist behind why we got started with this. Gentleman by the name of George Molina was with us Friday night. They donated $300 worth of food from ShopRite for the veterans, and just incredible. So that the byproduct of all of this is really just how this community is coming together. So I do appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I know that you're going to the next thing, but I just want to say I've been on that sideline as a staff member, as a coach. Friday night was the most incredible event I've ever been in West Milford. And it's to every one of you. I saw the superintendent there with his entire family. I saw every administrator there, more like security than we've ever had. I felt very safe, included. I saw tons of board members. Joe, thank you. It was a great event, and I look forward to a good season.
Also available on YouTube. But I agree. A great West Milford night. Football, the band, the cheerleaders, the community. Great place and a great area to see a game. Mrs. West?
Good evening. I'm very pleased to be able to share some of the summer committee work from the English department, both at McPinn and the high school. Our first committee was the iReadiness team in McPinn Middle School. It was comprised of 2 McPinn ELA teachers. We began by doing a teacher survey of successful strategies for engaging students in iReady, both with the diagnostic and with MyPath implementation in ELA. The committee, we compiled, discussed, and organized those strategies that teachers felt were very useful. and engaging for students. And the committee created a 10-slide visual teacher resource called iReady for a Great Year. And teachers turnkeyed that on September 4th during the PD Day. Our successes and challenges with implementing some of these ideas will be shared in the October 14th PD Day coming up. So we have an ongoing process of feedback and review. A little more detail about iReady for a Great Year itself. We began, as I said, with current strategies in use. The teachers provided directions with visuals for assigning and checking lessons. They described something called anchor activities, where MyPath can be used as an ongoing self-directed assignment when students are coming in or ending the day, in between assignments, or if a teacher is working with a small group, students can work on it individually. It helps them to build some skills, apply new knowledge, have some ownership of their learning, make some choices, and learn some self-management of time, which is the why of MyPath as an anchor. We shared ideas for motivating students, and in that process also gave teachers some very clear visuals with directions for accessing the diagnostic reports. Again, we will share successes and challenges and various lessons and material ideas that emerge from this on our October 14th PD Day. The second committee that we had was the Artificial Intelligence and Acceptable Use Committee. I think artificial intelligence over the past year and a half, almost 2 years, has certainly impacted all of us both personally or professionally. We were having some challenges with it bubbling up with students using things like ChatGPT to complete some writing prompts, things like that. And it's not something that students can avoid, it's a part of our everyday lives, so we really needed to try and take the tack of educating students about acceptable uses of it and really getting ahead of that process. So we had 2 English teachers, one general education, special education English teacher. We curated information and resources gathered from various professional development sessions across last school year, Rutgers Writing, Drew University. We sent a few teachers to an AI symposium for AI in writing in English, our individual personal learning networks, and our Northern New Jersey Supervisor Roundtable for me. Our committee objective was to create a department-wide lesson that all students in all English classes would experience to enhance student understanding of acceptable uses and unacceptable uses of AI in the English classroom. So, as a department, on September 4th, we had teachers that were developing present sample lesson materials, which included the items that we see here. There were 9 resources. The teachers themselves in the department were immersed in the lesson in the role of students. This enabled them to both explore the podcasts and the short videos and the articles and grapple with some of that content themselves. It could be a little bit time consuming for them to do on their own time. The activities essentially were to read, watch, or listen to the text, and then be able to discuss with a partner some of the drawbacks and some of the, and then to reflect in writing. Teachers do have the option to differentiate this. They can substitute some of the materials. But the key part of this is that all the teachers, all the students are using a common language and a rubric, which comes in the form of this AI assessment scale for ethical Gen AI assessment. Here's just a snippet of it. So for example, if a student, we throw out some scenarios of ways that they could or could not use AI. Let's say that we have a scenario where a student is generating ideas using AI, but then they would have to submit their work, and that part of it would not be a part of AI. So we're trying to help them to self-assess their uses of AI, which is going to be what's going to be acceptable, what's not. The scale runs from 1 to 5, 1 being any use of AI is prohibited for like an assessment or a research paper, etc., all the way down to 5 where they could use it to generate ideas. Perhaps they could type in a thesis and they can assess whether or not the thesis was properly written, or they can critique it themselves. There are definitely some very good educational uses for it, and we really want to make sure the students have a handle on exactly what those good uses are. So students will have input about acceptable use and guidelines. Successes, challenges, and various lesson and material ideas that were developed by teachers will again be shared on the 14th. And our assessment and follow-up discussion will include a reduction, hopefully, or not, of unacceptable uses of AI. So we'll see where that goes when we all get to be done on the 14th. But I do want to emphasize that our ultimate goal for students here is education and proactivity rather than punitive measures. AI isn't going anywhere, and we need to help students to learn to navigate it effectively. So that was really the overall objective of our committee. So stay tuned. We'll let you know how that all went.
Thank you, Mrs. West. I know when they were talking about what they accomplished this summer, I had a conversation with Mrs. West and the teachers involved about West Milford schools being a little bit ahead of this conversation compared to many. The state policy had just been released recently, and it's up for review in many districts soon. We were ahead of this with the summer work, so I want to just say thank you to those staff members. Just coming back to we had some fun talking about the iReadiness committee, so that we ready. So that was really the fun we kept talking about, and it became we ready. But that was just between us, so a little fun. I'd also like to next introduce Mrs. Karen Johnson from our guidance department to talk about their summer work.
Thank you. So one of the jobs that my school counselors took on this summer was the revision of the school counselor handbook. I gotta fire this. Okay. The school counselor handbook is really an invaluable tool for us. It's the roadmap for everything that happens through guidance. So it provides the parameters, the guidelines, detailed information provided for the counselors for everything, whether it's the roles, responsibilities, resources, services, tools, our events, everything is included in that booklet. For our new school counselors, this is really invaluable because if somebody is hired into the department, this becomes their primer for everything they do. It's a resource book to look things up if they don't know how to either run an event or handle something with a student and someone's not around to help them, they can refer to the handbook. The last edition of this handbook was started in 2015. It was completed in 2016, so it's heading toward 9 years old, and it was very much appropriate to revise this booklet because a lot has changed in that time. So, gotta get this to go forward. So for example, graduation requirements have changed, alternate route diploma pathways and resources have changed quite a bit. NCAA and athletic guidelines have changed. Our programming has been modified a great deal over the past couple of years. There are new risk and threat assessment procedures as well as crisis intervention. Grade calculations have changed over the past couple of years. Naviance has new and additional features. FAFSA continues to change year after year. It's still changing. And then there's testing and how that connects to graduation and their scores and the pathways to graduation. That seems to continually change as well. Additionally, we've added a lot. We have a lot more venues for communication that we keep going month after month and week after week. We've added the STEPS program, which is all focused on getting our kids towards successful post-graduation or post-secondary paths and things like that. So that needs to be documented. Handle with Care has been added. Going Merry has been added. And information about all our eDocs. We use so many different eDocs, not only for putting out information, but for gathering information. And we're revising how we use those because we're also finding they're great data collection venues for us. So seeing what happens year after year informs us and informs our programming. So the way that we handled this revision was that the first part, especially for the high school group, was a collaborative process where they sat down together for about 4 to 5 hours and reviewed every page of this lengthy document and marked up what needed to be removed or modified, adding subheaders for things that we had to put into the booklet. They had the opportunity to reflect upon their practice, which if anyone's worked in a guidance office, you know things are coming at you constantly. As school counselors, when a need happens, they have to answer right away, and they're not thinking always about all of the things that are getting done in a day. And so for them to review their practice and reflect upon it was really a valuable time spent together. They also were able to identify gaps in the things we do, or lost processes, or things that just need to be modified. The update of the high school booklet is a 50-page endeavor. It's that long. The middle school booklet was a 20-page endeavor. They've completed most of the work, but we still do need to go back through as a collaborative review because they've worked on it individually for the rest of the summer. So we're going to come together during some of our PD time just to review it one more time and change of formatting, and then we'll have a finalized booklet that should last us a good number of years. Our second thing that we did this summer, our initiative, was adding the College App Boot Camp. The boot camp goal was to invite as many seniors as possible so that we could help them de-stress the process of applying to college by providing them with information, assistance, advice, encouragement, and most importantly, time together, time to work collaboratively on all of those things that are about applying to college. And the most important part of it for me was that we did it before September 1. We did it before school opened. A lot of times our seniors come to school and they say, well, that's when I'm going to work on my application. And suddenly they're finding they're overwhelmed because they're working their jobs, they're in sports, they're in clubs, they're working, whatever it is they're doing that's taking up their time. The application process tends to get pushed on the back burner. So this was a great thing to do in the summer. So the counselors made sure that they planned for taking care of the Common App. Many of the students that day completed the Common App. They wanted to cover letters of recommendation and how that was facilitated through Naviance. Some of the kids on that day actually sent out their letters of recommendation. They wanted to clarify the process for completing their transcript requests as well as the personal brag sheets. They covered the college fit and talked about how students should add colleges to their list, not based on the names that they've heard, but based on the things that were important to them as individuals. They also looked at special admissions, such as athletics and NCAA requirements, as well as the arts, where students often have to put together portfolios and follow strict submission deadlines and things like that. And finally, they covered the tips and strategies for the dreaded college essay prompts. So whether or not this was a success, well, let's see. 3 high school counselors prepared for and worked with 35 students. We had 50 sign up, but that day 35 showed up. They covered all of the topics that I just went over with you. We provided a post-event survey to all the participants, and what we discovered was that the students arrived at various stages in the processes. Some of them said, I started the Common App. Others had written down, well, I thought about my essay. Several put, I had not done a thing. In the end, there wasn't one student who had completed any of the processes completely. So everyone was able to come there and get something out of it. When we asked them what was the one most important thing that they did or learned that day, the student responses were all over the place. It was interesting to see that almost every single thing we presented, someone responded, I learned something from this, or this was really important, or I'm so happy I did my Common App. So we found that every piece that we had in the program was valuable to the attendees. The students also had the opportunity to share with us things that they would have liked to have seen done, and so they added 2 topics that they would appreciate having included in for future groups taking this. And finally, the most important piece was that 100% of the participants responded that they left feeling much more confident about the college application process. And for me, that piece alone says that this was a huge success. So I wanted to thank the board for supporting us and doing that. This was the first year that we did it, and we are really looking forward to building the program a little bit more, and next year spending some more time with our kids and running it again and helping our seniors out, because it was really valuable, well-spent time. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. If you have any questions for our presenters as we go, just feel free to let me know and ask. I want to say thank you. Having been a parent recently go through the college application process, that's a fantastic resource. I'm about to go through it again, so hopefully I can get some pointers from it. Fantastic resource. Our next speaker is Mr. Kane. Mr. Winston, you might want to look for the one titled Maple Road Madness or Mustang Mayhem, or what's it actually called now? Oh, First Friday, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Novak. All right, so many of you know we've had a tradition here at Maple Road to host our annual First Friday event, first Friday of every school year. This is our opportunity to kick off our character education theme for the school year, and it's a great way to set the stage for our monthly character activities for the school year. This school, going into the summer, in speaking with our First Friday committee and our character ed team, we really wanted to have a service learning focus for our upcoming character mission. So these four ladies, Tricia Graney, 5th grade teacher, Katrina Valise, kindergarten teacher, Christy Clave, MD teacher, and Jess Danetta, our phys ed teacher, got together over the summer to take a new look at our First Friday activities and see how we could weave in a service learning mission in that process. So our theme for the year is to be a change maker. These ladies did a wonderful job of planning our First Friday event this past Friday, where we kicked off our theme and talked about the elements of our character mission for the school year, which includes our monthly cross-grade level change crews that will be working on service learning projects to support organizations like the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, the Highlands Family Success Center, Loci Rose, and other organizations each month working together on those projects to support those organizations and learning how to be a change maker. And a nice added piece, let's go here. Gotta want it. All right, I'll let Rob, okay. So another element that there you go. We're also partnering with the organization called World of Change to not only do service learning projects for each of those organizations, but also partner with World of Change to collect loose change each month to financially support those organizations. And working with World of Change, 100% of those collections will go to those organizations that will be supporting throughout the school year. So those four teachers worked throughout the summer to plan our event this past Friday. Some of you were there. Dr. Kitchen was able to be there. Mr. Schultz was there. We had a wonderful activity with a family picnic and kicked off. And Matt came down. Matt from World of Change came down from Boston to talk about his organization, how they're going to be partnering with us to raise money for various organizations throughout the school year. And then also we're going to have cross-grade level change crews to do service learning projects. Christine Roberts is going to model the Change Maker t-shirt right now. Okay, look at that, very nice, very nice. Excellent job. Tricia Graney's in the house tonight and all her hard work. Tricia, you want to add anything? You good? All good. Be a change maker, all right. So we're really looking forward to a great year, and I want to thank the team for putting that all together.
Thank you, Mr. Kane. All right, Mr. Woodson, you can bring up the Wonders presentation. We have a paper copy to pass around in case the gold on black doesn't show up so well in this setting. I also want to introduce, before we get started, Dr. Schwartz, principal of Apshawa School, who helped tremendously with this process, along with all of our elementary administrators. We have Mrs. Sean Reinsmith from the Marshall Hill School, 2nd grade. Trish Graney, as you just met, from Mustang Madness, and also 5th grade teacher. Jess Cohen, 1st grade from Paradise Knoll. And Kelly Frasca from 1st grade Paradise Knoll as well. They are 4 members from our District Literacy Committee, which is a group that evolved from a group that Mrs. West started called the Balanced Literacy Support Team. So we've had a literacy committee for our elementary schools for over 10 years, you know, I won't even try and do the math now. It's been a long time. We've rebranded for District Literacy because what we're about to present tonight is a slight shift away from what you would call the balanced literacy process. Wonders is the name of our new program. It's a McGraw-Hill product. So what we're going to walk through tonight is just a little background of the process that led to the selection of what you see before you tonight. We have samples from every grade level. We have the teacher resources, student resources, teacher manuals, the instructional tools that the teachers use during specific lessons, along with some of the presentation materials that we use to go through this process. Just to go through the four highlights, what we're going to talk about tonight is, the investigation, what we reviewed, how we reviewed it, what we chose, and what our next steps are. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we're about to walk through. Do you have any comments before we get going? Okay.
All right.
Cut me off. I'll just keep going.
All right. I liked it better when we had a pass microphone back.
All right. So the investigation, when we began, it really began at that moment where there was some district restructuring in terms of roles of administration, and Mrs. West became solely the 6 through 12 language arts supervisor. I took on the role of working with the language arts kindergarten through 5th grade. We set a meeting for that first summer with the balanced literacy support team just to kind of set up our goals, and we had a room at the library, at the West Milford Township Library, where we one of the activities we did, we took poster paper, we walked around the room, and I asked what do we all want as what is the best language arts program that we can provide for West Milford students. At that time, I didn't have any real vision of funding for the ability to actually replace it. We were just talking about what do we envision as being what's best for West Milford students. And I no longer have those posters. I wish I took pictures of them, because it was a great brainstorming process. I think they're still rolled up in my office somewhere, so I will find them someday. But a great brainstorming, sticky notes, all the things that they wanted to see in a program. And one of the strong commitment to phonics, the ability to meet students at their own level, and what we found to be one of the most important facets of it was the user-friendliness for staff, the ability for our staff members to be supported in their access to materials, everything that they need to be able to come in, plan their lessons, and present a complete curriculum. Also thinking about a new staff member. That's one of the things that kind of brought this up with, during those pandemic years where we had a lot of change in staff and people changing grade levels. It was challenging for us to, hand something to new staff and have them really embrace the program. So that was one of our goals.
And I think from those three phases, and I think the committee would agree, one of the most valuable parts in reflection was that it was a lengthy investigation process to even get through those phases. So everything was so well vetted, so thought out in a careful, methodical way that represented all the cross-sections of different teaching groups within our district, from literacy specialists to general education classrooms to special education classrooms, contributing to that investigative process.
Sorry. So in the beginning, we kind of set the tone for what we wanted to complete, and what Dr. Schwartz just described is we got a graph here of all of the programs we reviewed. That's small for me, so I have to put on glasses. I know we ended up piloting hands-on materials for programs called Magnetic and Wonders, but we had presentations. Lengthy presentations from a variety of vendors. Into Math, Amplifies CKLA, Great Minds, Wit and Wisdom, Curriculum Associates Magnetic, Success for All, I forgot about that one. Right, I forgot about that one. And then also Wonders. So in that process, our District Literacy Committee, we met, we saw all the reviews, we got our hands on all of the materials, we took a look at their digital content, we did a very deep dive into the components of the programs. Then throughout that process, we debated and discussed, and we got a vote. and then that vote led to 2 finalists. And the best, and I skipped that slide, the 2 finalists were runaway winners between Magnetic and Wonders. The distant third was quite distant. So when we came back, we reviewed the votes. As a committee, we continued to, just to make sure we were doing what's right. We vetted the one that was in third place to really make sure that we were going to move into a detailed approach with the 2 that we piloted, and this is what we landed on. So we set 2 specific teams, teachers who were piloting the Magnetic program and teachers who were piloting the Wonders program. And our district literacy support team, who's represented partially here, they were able to get their hands on both programs. So I think that's the next slide. Taking a look at.
Not you. Backwards.
Okay.
So the 2 teams were from our original committee, but then they decided as a group that we needed to include beyond the district literacy committee and involve more teachers from each building and from all the different areas that we work with in ELA to have a rounded out discussion at the building level. So each team had the district literacy committee on both teams in total, and then there were teachers from each building that either piloted Magnetic or Wonders separately. So then there were discussions at the building levels of those building teams, and then everybody came together, including those piloting teams, to have those conversations. The Magnetic team worked first. They started before spring break or right after spring? March 18th. I can't see. I think the glare too. They started March 18th. They had their materials. That was one of the obstacles that we met in the original pilot, was the spring break timing, working with the different training and being able to complete units, as well as getting the materials into the hands of the teachers at that onset, because we tried to move very quickly to get everything in everybody's hands. So that ran through until the pilot of the Wonders program. But what was a very interesting success component in the first Magnetic team is the teachers who were only piloting Magnetic and not moving on to Wonders. So many of them felt that it was such an advantage over what we were already doing that they chose to continue it through the end of the school year. Then we piloted Wonders with a separate group of piloting team along with the district literacy committee. That began May 3rd with training. And we wound up with the obstacles of iReady diagnostic as we wrapped that up, as well as the NJSLA testing in the middle. So it caused the pilot group to work a little bit longer and a little more disjointed because of the testing. And another obstacle for us in that one, I can't see, sorry. It just ends here, thank you. And another success, at the end of that was that they again chose to finish the school year with the pilot they were working on. So there was a great response from both teams, and they experienced a lot of success in terms of what they were hearing back from their students, from what they were discussing with families that they were talking to about what the kids were experiencing, and again, the user friendliness for themselves with both units.
So piloting discussion, after we completed all the activities, we brought our groups together. A series of questions that none of us could read were just a few examples. This was asked of everybody in a survey. Based on your experience, do you believe the Wonders program is an improvement over school-wide? Why or why not? How did the Magnetic Wonders program compare to each other in terms of ease of use and preparation time? Which program do you believe better provides writing process defined by the student standards and the SLA. So there was a series of questions to really, kind of allow our staff to respond to all aspects of the reading and writing process. So we were able to make an informed decision when we eventually got to a vote. The grade level teams got all a chance to get together. We had a culminating meeting. And then here's our that was our end result. So we had 94. Yeah, it was a overwhelming majority for Wonders. I think that Magnetic had some tremendous features that many of our staff loved. I think just the comprehensive nature of it is what led most staff members to review Wonders. And just for fun, I left Continue with Schoolwide, which was our current program, and that received 0 votes. Is the committee on the next slide? Some of their names?
No, those were the next steps we discussed. So the next slide is the next steps to prepare for implementation. So as soon as the vote was over, we began to move forward with implementation steps, proposals to the committee, and feedback from them what we needed to be doing next. So these were the questions we kind of worked through. You can read them on the handout. The questions we worked through to develop how we're going to approach making this changeover and how quickly we could do it. We gave it a timeline and planned for professional development.
So here were the initial steps, and the board was tremendous with helping us approve a staff training day in June. That was one of the things we worked with the feedback from our math committee, our teachers from the year before when we implemented the new math program, that the initial training taking place in September wasn't the process that our staff would have preferred. So, to our staff's credit, we came in the day after high school graduation, the day after schools closed, when everyone else in the world is celebrating, everyone else in West Milford is celebrating the first day of summer. Our staff came together and were trained on this program on June 20th. And I think that, when you guys get a chance, the feedback from being able to do that was tremendous in terms of allowing our staff to get their hands on the materials, to get access to the digital tools, to kind of get their mind around it and be able to, kind of think over the summer about their implementation. So in the absence of that training, there would have been a lot of that mystery coming into the days in September and having to do that in a very short turnaround. So I thought that was a tremendous structure, and I thank the board for supporting it. We also had a significant amount of work completed by our district literacy committee over the summer, as well as some additional teachers from each grade levels in schools across the district to work on some of the training materials and some of the curriculum work that we need to implement the program. So on a couple slides forward, we're going to show some of the ideas and some of the things that our teachers did. We didn't have our Wonders representative came in June to do the initial training. The next step of that training was done by the people over there and their colleagues from across the district. So that was a great first day. I believe it was September 4th, our first PD day, where our elementary staff, took over some of the English classrooms. I appreciate your help, and the media centers and staff-led programs turnkey to our teachers who had to implement this program for our students in the first week of September. So it was a great process.
Sure, and I think this is a good time for our teachers to want to share too. So the PD day was broken into 3 sessions led by our teachers who are going to share some of their work. So the first opportunity they had was to see a shared drive that teachers put together through their summer curriculum work. The second session was teacher-led implementation strategies, which our teachers are going to share with you. That was phenomenal for all of our staff to come together and hear this really cohesive plan on how to incorporate Wonders with our phonics endeavors that we've had previously. And then we had grade level breakout rooms in those English rooms, as we mentioned, where grade level leaders then opened up all the units, all the work they did over the summer, the pacing, and really explored that at the grade level, again, led by staff members.
So one of the things in the process that I didn't mention earlier, in terms of our current program, everybody loved our Phonics First program. That was one of the pieces when we were meeting with each vendor to review the next step. One of the questions we continued to ask was about their phonics program. Does it work with our existing program? Because some of them were considered like a la carte, where you took different pieces and you could apply it. So we were initially interested in maintaining our existing phonics program, which was called Phonics First. So what Jess and Kelly worked on with our staff was the ability to connect Phonics First with our new program. So I won't botch it anymore. They can explain. They can explain better about what we did.
We were obviously way ahead of the game in the fact that we chose Phonics First quite a few years ago now. I can't remember what year, but we knew that the practices in Phonics First, which are Orton Gillingham based, are practices that we want to continue doing no matter what program you're doing. So what we did is, as a team, we looked at, okay, Wonders has all these great practices in it, but how are our teachers going to understand the philosophy behind it, how to implement it, and how to implement it in a way that's Orton Gillingham friendly. So what we did is we went through and we looked at all the different components of Phonics First and what obviously can we continue to do that would make sense for our staff and for our students to continue giving them that extra boost, because Orton Gillingham allows our students who have the most difficulty in reading and writing to be able to have multisensory approaches that allow them to succeed in a greater way. So that's what we worked on.
And so, as Mr. Novak had shared at the beginning of the presentation, when we were designing this, we were really keeping a teacher that was changing grade levels or a teacher that has not been trained. We were looking at it through their lens. And fortunately, Jess and I, we've had a passion for phonics. So we've been researching and going to seminars and going to all different types of things. I'm in an Orton program right now, and it's a passion. But we want to instill that passion in especially our K-2 teachers. So we felt that we needed to give them the confidence and the tools to say, you can do this. And we felt that we were able to give them a toolkit. We did a few years ago, we had given a PD to some staff members, and we built on that. We used the Wonders materials, we used our Phonics First, and we felt that we wanted to start the year off with a bang and give them what they needed.
And I think going forward, like Mr. Novak said, is that I think our team in general is not only going to be looking at how is this program helping our students learn and grow, but also how can we continue to support the staff so they understand what really are the best practices to be using along with the curriculum, because the curriculum is always going to change. There's always going to be new things that come along, but these practices are based on science, and they are tried and true practices. So it's really important that our staff, like Kelly said, that's new, coming in, changing grade levels, that they understand that to teach reading, you really have to understand how to teach reading. Like, you have to understand these effective practices to be able to do that, and that's going to be something that we continue to do.
So obviously Wonders does have the phonics component. So what we recommended that we all do, especially in K2, is that we use the Phonics First routines and strategies. So we in Phonics First, we have 3-part drill. So we reviewed with the teachers what that is, the strategies. There's some videos that we put into the presentation, and we asked that at least for the first few months of implementing Wonders, we're using that 3-part drill to start off, to kick off our phonics and our reading lessons. And it's great. We've been doing it now for the last 9 days, and it's very effective because we start with 3-part drill and then we jump right into the phonics routines of Wonders. So we're not using Phonics First curriculum, we're using the strategies and the word cards and the letter sounds and basically introducing them to the lesson each day.
And I know where our plan is to touch back throughout the year. We're going to be talking with the teachers. I think, fortunately, we're very familiar with Phonics First, so I think it's nice to have a familiar component that teachers in all of the mix of trying to figure out all the new curriculum, to know that you are doing great work by implementing these strategies into your lessons. And I think that it seems like there's a strong encouragement to do that along the staff. Is there anything else you wanted us to touch on?
No, thank you. I'm just.
I mean, we could go on for hours
I know,
about
I should
phonics,
probably-
but I don't think you want to.
I should probably jump in because they don't have to teach reading tomorrow.
I mean, we can have our own little.
But I just want to say,
Sure.
thank you, thank you to our staff and everyone who jumped in, and that is a sample of what September 4th was like. That was just one part of our presentation. All of our, sorry, I'm into the crowd.
No, and I have to say, the presentation they made on September 4th to the staff was so well received. It was so well done. It was really something we needed to bring everybody together. It almost gave a little bit of a refresher. It provided new staff with just a little insight before we got started and get them the help they need in their buildings as new staff members. So I was so grateful. It was really so very well done and super informative to pull back the layers of wonders and insert what we're already doing that we know is successful.
And, one of the points in there, teacher-led, that was really important and well received. Go back. Could you go back to that? Yeah, the feedback. Click on grade 4. There we go. So our staff in preparation for tonight collected some feedback from students in their words. So I'm not going to read it all to you, but you can get a good little glimpse.
My favorite's
some
the
of our
10 out of 10 out of 10. One of the students gave it a
Right.
10 out of 10 out of 10.
It is really, I'll read that one. It is really cool. I love the Wonders book a lot. I'll give it a 10.10 out of 10. All right, 10, what was that? I'll give it a 10. I'll give it a 10 by 10.
I was impressed by the spelling, so it was awesome.
Learned a lot about earthquakes. Good. Flip back and go to 5th grade, just give you a little glimpse. Some of the kids. Read them all to you. You like how we can read about stories and make connections to the central questions, like in Unit 1, how can experiencing nature change the way you look, change the way you think about it? We can think of our own life or Teddy Roosevelt's experience in the story can't be present. Just students making connections to literature and their access. Again, that was, you can go back to the slides now.
So in October, our PD Day, we'll be receiving more training from Wonders, as well as something that we're kind of exploring as we go, which is a companion to it called Wonder Works, which will also tap in for our special needs students and our students who are receiving basic skills instruction. That's something that will get more training and we'll be exploring a little further on the 14th. The teachers have the materials in their hands. It works as a complement to the Wonders units and gives more of a differentiated approach to what they're covering in the general education classrooms. So we have that in our resource rooms. Then the next step will be to revise report cards mid-year after we look at the alignment from what the report card work was this summer in comparison to Wonders, and then regroup as a committee toward the end of the year to kind of set some goals for Wonders for the 25-26 school year.
I just wanted to show, the board has this in their packet so you can see who our people are. So that's the list of our staff members in our district literacy committee. And then on the right, those are all of the staff members who participated in piloting. So as you can see, it's a nice wide sampling across the district for people who had a stake in this process and are now invested and are moving forward with it. And to announce for the first time, when we put the Eureka math program in place, we did a family night. I need that too. All right, so October 29th, we are planning for, our Wonders Family Night to have our families come out and experience the program. Just some pictures of our students in action. Anybody from committee have any final comments? Any questions from the board? Anybody want to get their hands on some of this stuff? It'll be out.
We love the materials. Oh, sorry. I love the materials. Thank you.
I'm glad to see the family wonder the night. That's great because the math night was a very big success, and I'm looking forward to that. I do have a question about: is there going to be grade level planning across the district? You know how during COVID we had each grade level that kind of met on Zoom and whatever with different administrators. I'm wondering, are we continuing that with this new program? Because this I'd say it seems appropriate.
We're anticipating that on October 14th. Okay. So that a component of what we're doing on October 14th is the training for the staff members who will be using WonderWorks, which is not our entire staff. That'll be for our reading specialists, our encore teachers, and our resource room teachers. Our gen ed teachers will be doing a cross-district collaboration to see how things are going and move forward.
They got a little taste of that on the PD day in those breakout rooms, so that group will kind of be able to continue to lead the rest of their grade level through the planning.
Okay, I guess one of what I'm asking is, are we going to be doing it as we move into the year? Because this is our first year with this program, and it seems to me that everybody has to, which was our goal, is to have all the schools and grade levels on the same page. So is that, the articulation between the grades, is that going to be happening?
Yeah, so our first, that PD day that I mentioned is also connected to our PLC meeting of that month. Okay. So as we go forward, and I know we have each of our principals works with a particular grade level to, organize that PLC meeting monthly to focus on Wonders, and it's going to be focused on Wonders, but we also still, because we've implemented a new math program last year and a new reading program this year, we still have some articulation to do with both in terms of that time together.
And those breakout meetings set the pace and set the calendar. The Wonders actually sets its own calendar, so it kind of keeps everybody almost on the same page on its own because we set it as a district start date. But we set the pace and the outlining of those units so teachers are able to start without hitting the ground with that initial articulation meeting that'll happen.
Because that's where some of our programs in the past have gotten kind of lost in the shuffle, because not everybody is in the same spot. I know we're not.
This kind of prevents that.
Yeah. But this definitely has a plan where you have to kind of follow it in order to be where you need to be.
Right, and the units are very defined, so we actually already have them in Rubicon where they're in there with dates, and actually we're able to even work around things like the iReady diagnostics fit into the planning of this. So they are outlined in there. I'll continue them for the whole school year.
Okay, thank you. Just Ted.
Stuff we got away from some of that grade level, but like today the entire second grade we had PLCs, the entire second grade we created a Zoom, and I mean it went well over the hour just because we had a lot of questions, like people had questions or concerns or where did you find this or where did you find that. And we've also created, I know by grade level, our own our own places on the computer for us to just drop in everything that we're finding, just so everybody has the same area. So like, that is something that we can utilize more during those PLCs. And it's already getting done today, and we were able to utilize that time on a Zoom with our colleagues. So
that definitely is what I'm trying to talk about, because I realized that one of our successes during COVID was the fact that we did that, because it kept all of you able to interact with each other. And when it's a new program like this, and depending on how many new staff we have, it's really important that you have that resource of your colleague to be able to help you in kind of troubleshooting something.
What's great about it, you right here have different grade levels. So if we did do the Zooms by grade level during PLCs, you would have somebody who was on the committee, and maybe it was part of this whole 2-year process, so we were able to utilize. And then today I even brought in another teacher who's new to the district, but she used Wonders in her previous district. So she's on like my hotline in my phones in my classroom. So she's been a great help too, so for the collaborations. But that is definitely something that we can continue to do going forward.
That's great. That's exactly what we need.
And teachers will be sharing this, principals will be commenting on this in their back to school night presentations, and teachers will be talking about it in their classrooms. So after the initial launch, then we're going to have our parent night to bring the community in to get their hands on it and see, and hear from our staff, and then hear from one of the presenters who worked with our staff to complete the training. So good things ahead.
So the parent night, is there a location set for that parent night? Or
High school auditorium.
Okay. And then this is more for Dr. Reza. I think maybe Wonders Works is the special education piece. Maybe having something on that at the CPAC meeting might be a...
That's a great idea. That'd be something we can explore too.
Thank you, Dr. Reza.
I just want to thank everybody who presented tonight. A lot of times, we'll approve something on an agenda and then we never see like the fruits of your labors. And so thank you for taking the time to come tonight. And I especially want to thank all of the teachers who volunteered for this committee. The laundry list of teachers, not only who are on the initial committee, but who volunteered to pilot these programs, was long, and it was completely volunteer. So appreciate you guys doing that, especially at the end of a school year to figure that out.
Is it a different curriculum for special ed? And I didn't know anything about what did you call it? Wonders? What?
No, so that's why the
Wonder
training,
Works?
that's why the training for Wonder Works is coming in October, is that all of our special education teachers, Encore, reading specialists, had to be trained on Wonders, because Wonders is the core program, and the Wonder Works is just a more intervention type program. So it's the same program, it's the same lessons, it's just modified in different ways.
It differentiates the activities that go with the lessons that stem from Wonders themselves. So it supplements for differentiation for our lower level learners.
All right. Thank you all for presenting. I've got a lot of DoorDash coffee to send tomorrow. I can't drive around everywhere, so don't call lockdown drills for the people coming up to deliver coffee to the doors. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it.
I just want to say one thing. I appreciated everything that everybody said that was here tonight, and I agree with Tara. What I would like to see is if we could get workshop meetings again, so that we have 2 meetings a month, and use our workshop meeting to have this, because these are really important topics that we need to see as a board, and sometimes we kind of have to cram it into the one meeting when we have a full agenda and we're voting. But a workshop meeting, we're not voting, so our discussion is happening, and giving the floor to our education is exactly what we should be doing with that meeting. So hopefully moving forward we can do that.
Thank you. I also want to thank Mr. Novak for all the work that went into this committee, all these committees this evening. He organizes a lot of this and makes sure all these things are happening. So a huge thank you to our committees, but also a big thank you to Mr. Novak for all of his work as well.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Novak. Thank you, Mr. Novak. Special reports and correspondence, Mr. Schultz.
I'll keep it brief. It's the August 20th, 2024 workshop regular meeting and the August 20th, 2024 executive session minutes for both of those meetings.
I'll make a motion to move the minutes for the August 20th workshop and for the executive session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? So at this time, we're going to go on to the regular agenda and public comment. So anyone that would like to leave, you may, or you may stay for the rest of the meeting. You want to teach with those materials? Then come over. I didn't realize that they had to take it off.
I'm not cold here. I'm cold here. My nose is ice cold.
Thank you so much. Okay. So President's report, I'll keep it very quick. Actually, most of it's already been spoken about. I just wanted to thank Mr. Glenn and Mr. Trent Acosta and all the crew and maintenance that actually did two things. One, the Veterans Night at the football game was amazing. You saw the video already, so I don't need to go into detail, but they did an amazing job getting that area ready and prepared. It was safe. It was a great night. So I just wanted to personally thank them and their staff. Also, Mr. Glenn and his staff for getting the district ready for the opening of schools. We actually got to do a little tour this week of some of the grounds and some of the buildings. We got to see some of the amazing things that Mr. Glenn and his staff have been working on and what they plan on working on. And I have to say that our little committee was very impressed with what we saw and what we heard. I also wanted to just say thank you to the administration and to our teachers. It's the opening first day for the teachers was an amazing morning. Our administrators did a great job. And it seemed like the first day for the students went just as well from what I saw on social media. I'm obviously not a part of that, but all the feedback was great. So I just wanted to wish everyone a great 24-25 school year. And that's the end of my report. Now on to public comments. So all speakers will have 5 minutes to speak until a period of 30 minutes transpires. Before speaking, please state your name, group affiliation, and address for the record. Members of the public who have requested to speak prior to the meeting will be recognized by the chair first. After speaking, all speakers are asked to sign the register provided and give their full name, group affiliation, and their address. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No participant may address or question board members individually. All speakers are expected to have read the statement within the agenda regarding the regulations concerning public comments. Members of the public are reminded that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Mr. Schultz, has anyone signed up to speak?
No, there's not.
Is there anyone wishing to speak? Okay, Mrs. Babcock.
There's a different mic.
I feel like Mr. Novak. Hi, Caitlin Babcock, 13 Post Place. Very excited about the new program. Loved that we mentioned my favorite term, which is Orton Gillingham. I just had one question about the special ed piece. We mentioned the resource room, but I was wondering if it also included the self-contained programs as well.
All those teachers were trained on the initial Wonders presentation, so they've been trained in the program, and then they'll also be trained.
Mike.
Yes.
Oh, Dan. Yeah, Dan Mike.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Are there any changes to the agenda, Dr. Kitchen?
Yes, there are 3. On page 10, item 6, that salary is prorated. It should say that in there, and it is not. On page 15, item 34, that rate is listed at $44.03. It should actually be $40.29. 40. And then last but not least, page 19, item 6. The donations there were approximately $640. That actually has gone up because there was more donations added. The dollar amount is actually $660 donated. And those are all the changes.
Thank you, Dr. Kitchen. Could I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? With the all those in favor? Any opposed? Education, Mrs. Ricano. Yeah, we're gonna.
I move to postpone item number 1 until after executive session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
I move to,
Number 2, you can move it.
I would like to move number 2 under education.
Okay, before I open this up for discussion, I'm going to actually read it so it goes onto the record for the people that are at home too. But I just wanted to first thank the Academic Success Committee and Mr. Stryans for all the work and time that they have given to us up until this point in regards to the scheduling at the high school. So now I'm going to read the resolution that's being put forth. So it's a recommendation of the superintendent to approve the resolution. Whereas the West Milford Board of Education is committed to maximizing academic and instructional outcome for our students. Whereas it is recognized that there exists a variety of scheduling options in different school districts that may enhance student learning and instructional efficacy. Whereas the current scheduling system in place may or not be the optimal choice for the students' academic needs moving forward. Whereas the implementation of a new schedule has broad-reaching impacts on all aspects of a school's functioning, including but not limited to instructional time, resource allocation, credit acquisition, staff assignments, extracurriculars, food service, and student engagement. Now therefore be it resolved that the West Milford Board of Education directs the administration to form a committee tasked with investigating and evaluating various scheduling options available in other districts. Be it further resolved that the committee shall assess the potential benefits and challenges associated with each scheduling option and make recommendations that align with our goal of enhancing academic and instructional outcomes for all students. Be it further resolved that the committee will include a diverse representation from stakeholders, including educators, administrators, parents, and community members, to ensure a comprehensive examination of scheduling options. Be it further resolved that the committee shall report its findings and recommendations to the Board of Education following the completion of their research and development of recommendations, enabling informed decision-making for the future of our students' educational experience. Is there any discussion from any of the board members or comments? Okay. Mrs. Van Dyke?
I'm very happy to see this resolution because in the past, when we have changed things such as Macoupin and Westbrook, this is how we did it and we brought all our stakeholders in. I believe that this is a very transparent way of changing things and getting the input from our people. Not only our staff, but our parents and the community members so that everyone is on the same page. Not everyone is going to feel the same way about it, but I think giving that transparency helps to be able to be successful in whatever we do going forward.
Thank you, Mrs. Van Dyke. Anyone else? Okay. Seeing none. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Jurgensen?
Yes.
Mrs. Racano?
Yes.
Mr. Sotovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Mr. Lippy?
Yes.
Mrs. Marquardt?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes.
Under education, I move items number 3 through 13. 13 is on the hand carry.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes, Mrs. Van Dyke?
I'm very talkative tonight. I want to thank Dr. Reza for the resolution, the hand carry for the placement, because this is the beginning of what Highlander and different areas of our Highlander Academy was supposed to be about. This is what was a dream of Howard Heller's years ago, and as a board member who has sat here for many years, this gives me great pride in knowing that we have stayed on the course and that we are servicing our population that is so in need. And I am very proud to be on this board, and I want to thank Dr. Reza for his efforts in bringing this into our district. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Van Dyke. Anyone else? Mrs. Romeo?
I agree and 100% with everything Linda said. And I know that this is not our fault. However, I need to ask so that it could be explained. Number 13 is us receiving a student under $20,000 for the school year. However, if you look at number 10 and 11, it's us sending students out, 10 specifically for 5 months, or $10,000 more than we can receive for an entire year for one of our students, for an out-of-district student coming in. So I was wondering if you can explain that, and, you know, and maybe explain to the public how much we're allowed to charge and why, and then that these others, I guess, is it because they're
Sure.
private institutions and stuff?
Yeah, this tuition, it's actually a gen ed student that'll be attending West Milford High School. This isn't a Highlander Academy placement. So the certified tuition rates that govern it, we have the most recent data is the 22-23 school year. So we use that as our baseline to figure it out, because at the conclusion of the audit every year is when they come out with the certified rates, and that's where you adjust the tuition. Either you bill the districts or they send you a check for the difference. So we use the most recent data we had, we added a few percentage points to it, and we came up with, this is a prorated amount as the student didn't start until September 16th. So this is a little less than the certified tuition rate, but it's prorated, getting rid of the first couple weeks of the school. I know Dr. Rest is working on bringing some other students into the district, and those, for the ERI program, autism program, those are higher tuition rates based on the cost of the programs.
And I'll just thank the board for their support because this is a very exciting venture, and it's just great that we'll be able to serve our community here in West Milford as well as surrounding communities with these fantastic programs and staff that serve in these programs.
So I did want to clarify my question a little bit. So being that this is a gen ed student, you're saying that that was our tuition, our latest number, right? And if it was a special education student, the numbers would be a little bit different. Then when we send out, because we have so many comprehensive programs, special ed and gen ed, we only send out to, not only, but mostly private schools. So when you look at these other numbers, they're much higher because they can charge more because they're not a public institution. Is that right, Billy?
Yeah, private schools for students with disabilities have much different, I would say, services that they provide that go beyond, you know, in terms of the needs of the students, the resources that are expended there, and the other costs that they have that are unique to private institutions. And then in terms of the district, we do, like Mr. Schultz said, have specific guidelines that we follow in terms of the rates that we do charge, whether it's a gen ed student, special education student, or specific special programs. But we do have to adhere to those as outlined by the state of New Jersey, where the private schools have their own guidelines that they have to follow in terms of the tuition that they charge.
And to piggyback, I should also mention that beyond the base rate of tuition, there's often charges for various services that are being added. So it does depend on the program itself.
Thank you. I have more questions. Thanks. Number 4, Mr. Novak, at Macabin School of Mathematics, it says pre-advanced placement algebra. Is this the current class that's being taught first period at the high school, or is this an addition?
The class being taught at the high school, that's geometry.
Use your mic, please.
No.
Thank you. Okay.
Good, Mrs. Romeo?
No, I have 2 more questions. Okay. Sorry. My next question is about the NJ4S. Do we have a list of what they're actually like implementing in West Milford? Do we have a list of what they are doing? Are they doing parent programs? Are they doing group student programs? Do we have that list yet? And when we do, will it be shared with the board?
I brought with me tonight some materials that do share the types of services and programs that they provided as they offered in last year when we brought them in.
Every pamphlet from NJ4S that's possibly available. I'm just curious what we're using them for. Like, are we doing parent programs?
So we're going to be looking right now at different assemblies as well as possible support groups that we did last year. And when we have more information and as we work with them, we'll have more information to share with the community as well as the board.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I hope this is my last question under education. Number 9. So number 9, it clearly states what we'd be hiring the psychiatrist for as an evaluation. CBS therapy in Rhode Island, what would we actually be hiring them for? And is there a dollar amount that we have as a max or a minimum, as a maximum really?
So you're asking about number 9, the psychiatrist is an agency that we're using for evaluations, risk assessments, and the like. It's one of the many approved evaluators that we use for that purpose. And then the CBS therapy underneath it is one of a variety of agencies that we look to approve that will provide support in the sense of therapy if we have needs in the district that go beyond whether students that we have in district that their needs to be served, or outside students that maybe are with private placements and things of that nature. So we're just approving the agency to be able to provide services.
And so they do also, they do speech therapy?
Speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy, yep, those types of therapies, yes.
Okay. So they're not doing psychiatric evaluation?
No.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Anything else, Mr. Romeo?
That's it?
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Jurgensen?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricano?
Yes.
Mr. Sotovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Mr. Lippy?
Yes.
Mrs. Marquardt?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes. Personnel, Student Affairs, Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes, I'd like to move item 1 under personnel.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Mr. Sotovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Jurgensen?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricano?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mr. Lippy?
Yes.
Mrs. Marquardt?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes.
I'd like to move item 2 through...
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Mr. Sotovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Jurgensen?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricano?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mr. Lippy?
Yes.
Mrs. Marquardt?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes. Operations and Finance, Mr. Lippy.
Okay, before I move the motions to vote on, I'd like to reiterate what you said about the Mr. Glenn and our little tour during our committee meeting. It was amazing to see not only what they got accomplished, but how they got it accomplished, how quickly they got it accomplished, and how well it was done. It was really refreshing to see. I think between our new administration people and some of his new team members and such, it was good to see. So,
Great.
a little bit. I'd like to move number 1.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'd like to just speak on it briefly. So this is the motion that we received from, I believe it was Hardiston, but we've actually received it from several districts. There's a very similar, and just today we got the same motion again from Stillwater. So this is a joint effort on behalf of many of these S2 districts to sort of take a stand and say that the quality of education that we're able to provide based on the funding formula that the state has put out, it has been diminished. And it's really important for us to recognize that without that funding, it becomes much more burdensome on our taxpayers, and much more challenging to maintain the standards that you all expect as board members, that our teachers expect of themselves, and that our community expects of our schools. So this is sort of us joining the fight. You can see some of these percentage changes in northern New Jersey for some of these S2 districts. So if this motion carries, you'll also notice that it is something that Mr. Schultz will be communicating with the state on to let them know what our stance is, again, in conjunction with many other districts that also feel the same way because they're being impacted in the same way.
Any other discussion?
Dr. Kitchen, thank you very much for bringing this to our attention and laying it out in this manner from the other school districts that you've gotten it from. I'd like to find some way if we can publish this, just to let the general public have a real picture as to what districts of our type are facing. You know, we've talked many times about tax cuts, and then we raise taxes. And there's a lot of people in the public who they hear us talking about it, then when we raise our taxes, many times they think, oh, well, they've made up for that difference. But seeing these types of numbers, it is shocking that there's 60-70% cuts to some districts with, you know, cuts in student populations of 10, 20, 30%. But just to find some way we can publish this so people can see it, to get a better understanding of it.
Would you like this motion specifically be placed on our website directly so that it's visible, and then perhaps pushing it out as well? But certainly it's something.
Understand what we're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah, I think it can live on the website, and I think it's something we can push out. So, assuming the motion carries, we will make sure that this is something that is shared out publicly, and then can obviously be reshared from there.
Thank you, Mr. Lippe. Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Lippe?
Yes.
Mrs. Rocano?
Yes.
Mrs. Jurgensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sotovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mrs. Markward?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes. Okay, Peter.
I'd like to move for roll call vote numbers 2 through 8.
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Lippe?
Yes.
Mrs. Rocano?
Yes.
Mrs. Jurgensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sotovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mrs. Markward?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes. Okay.
I'd like to move number 9.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Lippe?
Yes.
Mrs. Rocano?
Yes.
Mrs. Jurgensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sotovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Recused?
Mrs. Markward?
Abstain.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Abstain.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes.
I'd like to move number 10 through 14, please.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Lippe?
Yes.
Mrs. Rocano?
Yes.
Mrs. Jurgensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sotovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Romeo?
Yes.
Mrs. Markward?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes. Okay, committee reports, liaisons, Parks and Rec, Mrs. Dwyer, she's not here tonight, so I don't think anyone else has anything on that, so we'll move to safety, Mrs. Rocano, Mrs. Dwyer.
We have our first safety committee meeting coming up this fall. I'm not sure that there's a date set for it yet, but it's usually in October.
Thank you, Mrs. Rocano. Superintendent's Roundtable, Mrs. Rocano and Mrs. Van Dyke.
We have our first meeting of the school year on Thursday.
Excellent. Passaic County School Boards Association, that's me. The first meeting is next week on the 25th at Mario's Restaurant and Pizzeria in Clifton. Starts at 6:45 is the official start. New Jersey School Boards Association, Mr. Sotovich.
So just reminders of, just flip quickly. Workshop is on October 21st to 24th, and it's highly recommended, and the delegate assembly is on December 7th. That's my report.
Perfect. Legislative, anything, Mr.
Nothing for
Sotovich?
legislative.
And Technology Oversight, Mr. Lippe and Mrs. Marquardt.
While we have not had a meeting, I would like to say that during our tour, we got to see the brand spanking new computer lab in the high school and under technology. That was impressive. It was
Very.
fun to see, especially considering that was the room I learned on an Apple IIe many years ago.
Township Board of Education Joint Committee, we have a meeting coming up next month. West Milford Municipal Alliance, Mrs. Van Dyke and Mrs. Jurgensen.
We did have a meeting on last Monday. Basically, they're still looking for input on the survey, so if anyone's interested in that, spending the money and looking where they want to direct the money from the settlement that they got through the opioid settlement, so they're looking to find, they're polling the community to see what type of funding they want to, where they would like to see that funding go. There will be something on internet safety on October 2nd at the library in rooms 6 and 7 at 5:15. If anyone's interested, that's going to be conducted by NJ4S. There is going to be a town hall, substance abuse at town hall during Red Ribbon Week. It's going to be October 24th, and there's going to be multiple people there. Hope One is going to be there, the police, different, the Municipal Alliance in different areas for that night. There's a special conference on February 1st, and the Wellness Family Festival will happen on April 5th, and that will be here in our school, in the high school. And that's about it.
Thank you, Mrs. Van Dyke. Special Education Parent Advisory Committee, Mrs. Marquardt, you got your wish.
So, we will be having our parent planning meeting for CPAC, which is virtual, October 8th at 7 p.m. And then we will be having our CPAC meeting October 16th from 7 to 9 at UGL.
Thank you. Any old business? Mr. Lippe?
Just real quick, we've talked about it in the past a couple times, the free and reduced lunch responses. Has that, how much better is it now?
Good question.
They do continue to come in. They slow down after the first 2 weeks. We're working on something that's going to bring it back to the forefront of our conversations over the next few weeks prior to our back-to-school nights. So it's better than it's been, and I think we're going to continue to see them come in as we continue to share our process and talk about how easy the access is.
Mrs. Romeo, did I see your hand up?
Yes, I have a couple of things in old business. The first is, have we heard anything about the turf at Dygos Field?
Yeah, we're meeting with the township. They put money in their budget this year for the engineering study. Mr. Glenn's working on getting some quotes and pricing on that. And they also included some money for the lighting in their budget for this year. So he's working on updating those quotes as well. The previous quotes were a little while back when Mr. Kelly was here, so he's getting some updated information. So for this year in the township, they're talking about the engineering study for the feasibility for the turf, and then the township was looking into possibly funding for the turf for future year's budget for next year, for 25.
Do you think this is a project that'll be done for the 25-26 baseball season? Is that?
I don't know what the timeline, it would be the township budget is on a calendar year basis. Okay. It would be for the 2025 budget for them. As for that would have to get approved on the township, they'd have to incorporate it. I guess that all depends on the feasibility study that'll be done,
okay,
that the engineers and the architects complete, once we get that moving.
I did want to say something about the Dygos Field with the township. Everyone got their new tax bills. Don't like to bring that up here, but everyone that got their new tax bills, there was a leaflet actually in there from the township where they mentioned Dygos Field and turf in it in their flyer. So, yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Just want to mention too that Mr. Glenn does have some sketches from, I believe from an architect that he met with about what some possible layouts for that will be as well. So, obviously nothing official, and a lot more work needs to be done, but it is progressing.
Yeah. And one of the other steps I was involved, though, so the board just approved the updating of the long-range facilities plan, because that'll have to be incorporated into that as well, so that'll be part of the update that's going to be completed.
Great.
Anything else, Mr. Romeo?
The next thing I wanted to piggyback off what Mr. Lippy said. So the Committee of Operations and Finance on Monday night did a tour of the district. We saw many of the projects that have been done by the custodial and maintenance staff. Impressed is, I was so impressed. There was all different things. Highlights for me were definitely the UGL playground, the Marshall Hill playground, just so many really great projects, the high school water situation, and all of these things that are just taking care of big things that behind the scenes that it's really nice to know about and see. I also want to mention it because I don't know that Mr. Glenn's staff knows how he speaks about them. I feel like that's so important to hear him say, my team, and how hard they work, and all incredible things. I don't know that group has ever had any of a better advocate in the past, and I feel like they need to know that. So I am going to send an email to Mr. Glenn thanking him, and I will CC their union reps so that they can know that they were, that they're appreciated, that we've seen the work they've done. And also, if Dr. Kitchen, if you could please ask Mr. Glenn, can he share his slide presentation with the board members that did not see it? It's really impressive to see some before and after things.
Absolutely, we can do that. And I should also mention, so Mr. Glenn just the other day did send an email to his entire staff thanking them for all the effort that they put in, made sure administration was included on that. So several of us had the opportunity to echo that thank you and that appreciation. So you can't say it enough because the amount of work that's gone into it, it was tremendous, but they have been recognized in several different ways and by several different people.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, I'll be sure to, I'll send a presentation out tomorrow morning. I meant to include my minutes, I'm sorry about that, I forgot to include it in there, so I'll make sure to send that out tomorrow morning.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
I just want to piggyback on that because I've got the privilege of seeing them every day. I've been walking the track and I've been meeting, not having, it's informal meeting, but they've been up there and watching how hard-working they are. And Friday night, both Dr. Kitchen, Mr. Novak and Mr. Schultz were with me when we were talking to the maintenance people and telling them how impressed we were with what they did in such a short amount of time. And I have to tell you, it was conveyed by them that they truly feel appreciated, and they want that they take great joy in doing what they're doing and in the upkeep of our grounds. And I am glad to hear, and I know that Dr. Kitchen did direct Mr. Glenn to let them know that the board is so appreciative of how they have maintained the grounds and what they have done to get the opening of school going here. So it really, truly is being conveyed, and I totally agree with you. We need to appreciate them and all of our staff.
Even beyond the work that they do, they've been willing to lend a hand in any way necessary. An example of that was the other day we had an injury on the field that resulted in an ambulance being called. So Mr. Glenn raced over to make sure he could open up the gate so the ambulance could get directly to the student. And his staff stopped cutting the lawn to go down and direct the ambulance to make sure they sped the process up, and met them at the corner to tell them exactly where to go to, direct them how to get right to the student so we didn't have to transport the student from that location. So, simple little thing, but it just shows what team players they all are. So, thank you is not enough, but we do appreciate it.
Well, they've been top-notch forever, but it's really nice to be appreciated and to feel it and to hear it said. And so I think that's the difference, we've always known how incredible they are, but to have, administration that appreciates them and to hear it. So thank you to everybody. Right. That's really cool. My last thing that I had under old business is kind of a statement. Last month, I made a comment about an agenda item that I do stand firmly behind, which is I believe that women and men should be paid the same. And I know that that is a contract issue, and I know that that is a union for, for sporting events. I was upset that a head coach was still getting paid less than an assistant coach. And that's not really our place, but I'm allowed, that's the union's job to fight for that, And with that, my next comment really has nothing to do specifically just about that, but I've been thinking about it since the last meeting. And I once had a superintendent who he originally was a literature teacher, theater, literature, arts guy. And he, had his doctorate. And he once said, when he hired me in orientation, he also hired our new football coach. And when he introduced us, he said, when football wins, the whole town wins. Well, coming in as the crisis counselor, I was kind of annoyed. I'm like, yeah, all right, football, what's most important? Learning, counseling, social, emotional. And I've realized over the time that he's not wrong. And I just wanted to make the statement that I truly do believe that football is important, and that my last statement was not about football, that I'm a huge supporter of football in this town and of our high school. I didn't mean to hurt anyone's feelings. It wasn't about that. It was just that I do firmly stand in for equality, and I know that that has nothing to do with maybe this and more negotiations. So I wanted to clear that up. But I do agree with my former superintendent that, right now we have a winning football team. And Friday night, I told you guys, it was amazing, and I'd love to continue seeing that. So just so you know, I support all West Milford things, from football to everything. So thank you. Go Islanders.
Any other old business?
Close old business.
All those in favor? Any opposed? New business. Any new business?
Close new business.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Public comment number 2. So all speakers will have 5 minutes to speak until a period of 30 minutes transpires. Before speaking, please state your name, group affiliation, and address for the record. Members of the public who have requested to speak prior to the meeting will be recognized by their chair first. After speaking, all speakers are asked to sign the register provided and give their full name, group affiliation, and their address. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No participant may address or question board members individually. All speakers are expected to have read the statement within the agenda regarding the regulations concerning public comments. Members of the public are reminded that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Anyone signed up, Mr. Schultz?
No, there's not.
Anyone wishing to speak?
I have one last comment if no one else wants to speak. Do I have to go over there?
What are you commenting about? Something like as a board member or as a parent?
I can be the parent. I am the parent, and I'm just not going to walk over there. Is that okay? I'll sign the registry. But it's come to my attention really as a parent that our school handbooks and the board policy and regulations are really not as, what's the word, like distinct as they really should be. So our school handbooks, I specifically read Macapin's from last school year and the high school's from this school year. They do not represent the work that I've seen done on this Board of Education in the last 6 years. So it's kind of hard when you are a parent, right? Because I'm seeing this as a parent, but I've been a board member for 6 years, so I know all the work that the policy committee has put in. And somehow, some way, those two things have to be married. And so I wanted to mention it, that needs to be a project moving forward, maybe a summer committee for next year, because we can't have rules and regulations in the school that don't represent what the board's decided for regulations and policy. So I wanted to comment on that as a parent. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Romeo. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Yes, what was your name for the record?
Oh, yes, Kate Romeo, 1 Crest Hill Drive. Come on over.
Close public comments.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Executive session, Mrs. Ricano.
At 10:14 p.m., I make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel and HIBs. The executive session minutes will not be released until such time as the privilege or confidentiality is no longer applicable. The board will be in executive session for approximately 60 minutes. Action will be taken when we return.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Oh, sorry, thank you. Any opposed? Okay, so we will be returning after executive session in approximately 60 minutes. I'd like to call the meeting back to order. Roll call, please. Mr. Schultz?
Mrs. Van Dyke? Mrs. Romeo? Mrs. Jurgensen?
Here. I'm sorry.
Here.
No, it's attendance. Yeah, you're fine. You're good. Mr. Lippy?
I'm here.
Mr. Sitovich?
Here.
Mrs. Ricano?
Here.
Mrs. Marquardt? Mrs. Lockwood?
Here. Mrs. Ricano, can you make a motion to move number 1 under education?
I move to approve the following agenda item. The recommendation of the superintendent to approve the following resolution. Whereas the board heard a HIB appeal 2024 E9 in executive session at the August 20th, 2024 meeting, and whereas the board had determined that the event rose to a level of harassment, intimidation, and bullying as defined by NJSA 18A 3714, and whereas the board considered the testimony of the appellant to the discussion levied by the Board of Education from August 20th, 2024. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education wishes to B, overturn the board decision from August 20th, 2024 to substantiate the allegations of HIB, resulting in an unsubstantiated allegation.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Yes, Mr. Sitovich?
I do want to clarify that despite the fact that I was not there for the in-person testimony, that when you are a board member, you are given detailed documents during the executive sessions, and I did go through those documents to make this decision.
Thank you, Mr. Sitovich. Mr. Lippe?
I'd also like to just point out for the general public who may be looking at an agenda that was printed, that we are very specifically looking at only one part of this, and it's the B section of this particular number. We're not going to vote on either A or C.
That's correct. We're only voting on B. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please. Mr. Schultz?
Mrs. Jurgensen?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricano?
Yes.
Mr. Sitovich?
Yes.
Mr. Lippy?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes. Okay, we will be doing... So we will be returning back to executive session to discuss appointments, resignations, current litigation matters, board matters. So I can just,
It's got to be an exception so it's got to be one of those things that you're discussing.
It could be appointments, couldn't it?
Yeah, that's what it's, appointments. Okay. So we will be returning back to executive session for the purpose of discussing appointments. The executive session minutes will not be released until such time as the privilege or confidentiality is no longer applicable. The board will be in executive session for approximately 30 minutes. We will not be taking action, so we'll be adjourning from executive session.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.